Caitlin where she showed me a picture. And then ever since came in,
Jeffrey
showing
showed
me
me.
something.
Yeah, it's the same one. No. Other than that one little horn, it's almost perfect.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Is that the first time for him?
Yeah, he got one last year.
You guys in Tipton?
Right behind our house.
I know Tipton's always hit or miss.
Wow.
Park County's always good, but I know Tipton can be.
There's a big deer around here.
There are.
So it was
You don't realize
it's probably right around late 90s, right around 2000. So Indiana switched to a $1 a year rule.
Yeah.
And
All ready?
there's some big deer growing.
Crazy.
There's some big deer growing.
It's deer season. Is that
I
on the
know, I
agenda?
saw Jackson.
Deer talk. Coming around the bypass,
Oh, there's a ton out there.
I saw 12 of them out there.
All day long.
We're gonna call the Board of Public Safety meeting to order and begin with the minutes of the last meeting.
I move to approve the minutes. of the last meeting.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes as submitted. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Any amendments today? Hearing none, jumping into new business. The first, Jack Wagons Car Club for their street closure.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. On the agenda, I am here for the street closure, but before I start, I want to complain that the pavement used on Conde Street, the black that's used is not an exact match to the shingles that's on my roof. So, all right, so I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry. No, I am here on behalf of Jack Wagons Car Club and by extension Salvation Army. We would like to do the second annual street bucket campaign. Last year, we set up in the four-way at Jefferson and Main. And we use our signs, if you know those from the car show, as a partition to provide us protection. We also wore yellow vests last year, and we had 2 people per post to help see back and forth. We did have a run last year with first responders that was able to come through our area with our signs there, but with no issue that I know of, or that I was made aware of. So again, we're just seeking, last year we raised around $2,500 in 3 hours for Salvation Army. So we're just seeking approval to play in traffic for about 3 hours on Saturday, December 13th, roughly 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We do have our own buckets and warning signs and all that. We don't need anything extra beyond what we provided last year, unless you guys want us to add something.
Exactly like you did last year, right?
Yeah.
I'll make the motion that we approve Jack Wagon's request for, it's not really a street closure, it's a play in the traffic.
Yeah.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the request from Jack Wagons Car Club to host, what did you call that?
Salvation Army Street Party.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you guys very much. And then as far as the shingle collar,
We'll work on it.
okay, cool. All right.
Submit the color though. I'm not sure what color you're talking about.
It's 15-year-old rusted black. I don't know, something like that. So, all right. You guys have a good day. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you. The other item for discussion amongst this group, Ken, you may or may not be aware, but the city's taxi license
Yes.
ordinance has come up for discussion.
Yes.
So as we seek to make amendments to that, that ordinance dates back to 1973. Some other larger questions have come up pertaining to just issuing a license may not be enough. In today's world, providing taxi service back in 73, frankly, was a lot easier, safer. So should we as a city have a little more expectations as we move forward to protect the members of this community? So some of those questions, I think, up for discussion. The ordinance today states that the clerk treasurer's office would provide inspection of the vehicle to make sure it's in proper working condition. I would question that. I would agree with that sentiment.
We agree.
Is that the appropriate office to do that? How about criminal background checks for the individual applying, insurance expectations, and then maybe providing some better clarification on the public passenger versus for hire. So want to have this discussion with this group and then encourage that further discussion in the ordinance committee. So any thoughts from this group?
We have a few options. I'm not saying that we should do any of these over one, but one is you could just send the entire ordinance. The second is we look at it and then we modify it, like Keegan said, so we have to make that decision first. The other thing I think I have questions on is this was obviously drafted before Uber and stuff. Does this apply to Uber? And people think, nah, no one at Tiffin uses Uber. They definitely do. My mother-in-law's used it 5 or 6 times in the past 2 or 3 years to take her to the airport. So would that apply to Uber?
That's another great question.
I don't believe it does. I think
Why?
that ride sharing is governed by state statute.
Okay.
They have their own independent licensing.
Well, I obviously, in my opinion, all of these questions need to be at least talked about and discussed.
I think there's part of the ordinance though that I know Ron was concerned with Encore, but part of the ordinance may exclude them from it because it says not operating on fixed schedules or routes. If they're operating on a schedule, I know that probably means a bus, but if they're operating in a similar capacity, they would not be required. Now, if they're doing non-scheduled, and they may be, then they would be subject to this as a taxi cab, I think. The other thing is it's not a high barrier to clear. I mean, we're just making sure the vehicle works, that you have proper insurance coverage, that you get an application of $25, and that we may add a background check for the driver.
That would be my one additional request, just seeing even as it Ubers of the world are facing this challenge, drivers who have unfortunately not behaved as responsible individuals. We don't want to, as a city, overlook that.
So as far as the background check, if we did a background check internally through our department, that's all it's gonna do is Tipton County. It's not gonna go outside of the county. You'd have to go through state police to get that done, or the state to get that done. So I don't know if it's something that you regulate, that they have to have state approval back, they have to provide you a background check from the state, because when we do it, we just do it internal. It's just police department, sheriff's department.
Cost
I don't know the
estimate.
cost for a background check from the state.
$50.
That's what I was.
Can you guys run state background check?
Ours is all internal. Just like if we have someone who come in to apply for a coaching position, and a lot of the leagues require a background check, or you go on a field trip now as a parent at the school, you require a background check. It's all just locally internal.
So Nick, was your suggestion that we eliminate the old ordinance and just start
No,
From
just
new or
just don't
just
have
in-
one at all.
just modify?
That is an option. Not saying it's one I think we should do, but it is an option to say, we just don't feel like regulating taxi
Oh, I
cabs
see what you're saying.
is worth our effort if there's only 2 or 3 that operate in Tiffin. That does mean you're removing those protections, but is it a big enough concern for the government to get involved? I'm gonna see what the background check cost is.
I
On the
think-
copy that I sent you guys with some questions that I had
Yes,
come up with too.
Online, it's $16.32 for a state-only limited criminal history report.
Couldn't you require somebody getting the license to furnish that from the
Yeah.
state?
You could. The only risk there is they don't run all their drivers, or, I mean, it's for the driver. So, if they have 3 or 4 drivers, what if they only provide 1? I mean, there's ways to game that if someone's supplying it for you. That's that's also assuming turnover that they constantly update with each driver. And then who enforces that? Probably wouldn't enforce it unless you pull them over.
We currently only have one in town, right?
It depends on if you consider Encore taxi cab. But that's all I can think of is two at most.
Well, how do we determine if Encore is or not?
Probably a
We're
question for
gonna,
Matt.
meet with them to understand their funding mechanisms and do they meet that for hire definition?
Well, I guess my suggestion would be to determine that first, because, I mean, if they do fall underneath that umbrella as a taxi, then I think I'd add some other additional questions.
I mean, you wouldn't design, but you don't want to design the ordinance around them.
Well,
You want to think of what outcomes you want
Right.
and then design the ordinance. So if the ordinance is truly just to protect the citizens, then you would probably stick with the requirements we have now. But you could create caveats. I mean, they
Yeah.
already did for like, I think that's clearly for a bus schedule.
Yeah.
Fixed schedule and route. I don't think we're gonna have public buses anytime soon.
I'll go back. I hadn't thought about whether or not the government wants to get involved in this. For one, I would think sometime in the near future, not near future, but hopefully sometime in the future, you might have another that it would be nice to go ahead and have the ordinance ready and instead of trying to draft it.
I mean, I agree, but I also think like taxi cabs are not becoming the thing of the future.
Good
They're actually on
point.
the way out. It's Uber, it's rideshare, it's Turo and stuff like that.
Good point.
I went back and researched this a little bit, especially after last Monday's council meeting. And a lot of municipalities' taxi ordinances are way out of date, and it seems like they were all done in the seventies. I don't know why it was so popular about taxis in the seventies. But there were a couple up-to-date ordinances, that means the 2020s, that were fairly on point. And one of the issues in thinking back with Mr. Sowers was asked of him if he had a license. Well, yeah, he said he had a license, a driver's license. The city ordinance states that you have to have a taxi cab license that's prominently displayed in your windshield. I don't think he has that. And so when he was asked if he had a license, he wasn't thinking a taxi cab license issued through the city. So that
He told me he had a state license too, and I don't know. I just don't know enough about this business to know up from down.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so I think the council's issue, the ordinance committee, is whether or not you want to make it like that. I tend to think you do, even if it's a one-off, to protect the community, but that's not my decision.
how, just the regulation of that seems pretty hard though. I mean, yes, they can come in and they can do these initial steps, but to me, it's just too easy to game. Like changing drivers all the time, they're not gonna resupply them. We already have trouble with certain things now, like whether it's just a manpower issue or whatever, but changing driver, I'm sure that's a high turnover job. I don't know, who's gonna ask for the COI every policy renewal? And then you just get into this, well, they have one and I don't, or they don't have one and I do, and it's not fair. And it's like,
To a certain extent, it becomes an issue of enforcement too. I would assume BD's not going to initiate traffic stops unless,
There's an issue.
They run the stop sign or something happens,
Right.
and then they ask for the taxi license to see,
what do you do then? You never had that happen, so.
I mean, it would be an ordinance violation if you guys create the ordinance. I mean, statute-wise, I don't know if there's a statute that says,
I think the statute says you have to have
And what's the
a
violation?
chauffeur's license or a for-hire designation. And then that would be part of the application process through the cities. You have to show that you have a valid.
Okay, you pull me over and I say, I don't have one. What are you gonna do about it?
Probably just an infraction, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ordinance violation.
Do you just issue a citation? I don't think, does the ordinance say what violation of the ordinance is?
I can't remember if there's a penal provision.
And then that would also only apply if he had a passenger vehicle, correct? So if he's in that vehicle, he's driving around.
Yeah, you
Doesn't
prove
matter
it.
if he has a passenger
Right.
in the vehicle for that to apply.
Mhm.
I don't think the ordinance says what the penalty is.
It does, well,
Oh, wait. No taxi cab license shall be issued. Oh, no, that just talks about you gotta pay the fee to actually get the license. Well, it's something, I think it's a balance. I mean, to Matt's point, I kind of agree that it would be nice to do this, but if it's an enforcement, or if it's such a fraction of possibilities, is it just worth the time, effort, resources to engage with?
well, if it doesn't do anything in, then I think at least for whoever's providing the service, they then have to acknowledge that there are certain guidelines that they have to meet in order to be a taxi. Otherwise, I think from a city standpoint, I think to Matt's point, from a protection, we at least need to have some sort of license procedure or, application of some sort. I don't know how detailed it needs to be or how, because I can see it from an enforcement, but not to bring up we have a lot of ordinances that are very difficult to.
Well, I mean, like the criminal background check, let's say it does come back that the driver had an OWI 10 years ago. What are we gonna do about it? We're gonna tell that company, no, you can't. If they have a valid license, driver's license, we're to tell them they can't hire that person. Then what? We're gonna get embroiled in will inevitably be a.
Well, I
some
guess
kind of
that's,
lawsuit, it seems like.
I guess that's what I would mean. I don't know how detailed you want to make the ordinance, but I think at a minimum, they should have at least a city license and okay from the city to acknowledge that that they are providing a service. That's just my opinion now. How detailed you want to make the ordinance,
Well, I mean, to make it, if someone has to process paperwork and inspect the vehicle and all that, $25 may be too cheap.
Well,
I mean, that was passed in the 70s.
that was probably high in the 70s.
All right, something to think on.
Okay. One item that I did miss back into amending the agenda, I think we've got some folks here about the turkey trot event today, so if we could add that to our agenda.
Oh, okay.
I'll make a motion to add that to the new business section.
Second.
Motion and second to add the annual turkey trot to our agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next up, Tipton turkey trot.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the turkey trot again this year. We are changing our route a little bit to include going around the high school track. And that does require us to have like a crossing where there is not like a four-way stop, which we did not have last year. I did contact the police department. They did say that an officer could be out there in that spot to patrol. They had 2 officers on staff that day, so if he has to leave for any reason, he would have to leave for that reason. So I do have several volunteers at other spots, and there's going to be one at the head of the trail on Fairgrounds Road. So if he has to leave, our solution is to move the volunteer up to where he is at. Maybe pivot to the hawk signal if you guys feel like that's necessary. They'll have to run a little extra distance, but just what it is.
Right.
Or maybe they might get a little less if they don't take the rest of the way around. But I can have them do that if we need to. So we just want to get it approved to have that on Thanksgiving morning.
So what is the route?
So the route is going to be. Okay, I'll have to pull up on my phone because it's not wanting to pull up on that. Here's what the route looks like. So we will start at the Mad Tap, and we're gonna go down, and then over, like where the cemetery is at, so that back road that goes to the cemetery, they'll curve there, and then go into the park and get on the trail. Take it all the way down to, the fairgrounds, and then they're gonna go across 19 into the middle school parking lot, and then loop around the elementary school and take that up into the track. They'll take that track loop, come back out by the greenhouse, and then go back up to they'll go back up to like the four-way stop that is right there. They'll cross over into the park, get back on the trail, take the new part of the trail that goes up Madison and back to the Mad Tap.
A lot of they are on city streets for quite a while. I mean, have you seen this route?
Yeah, I talked to her last week.
Okay.
Should be issued, and like I said, we've got 2 guys working that day, so I think the main focal point would be that fairgrounds and 19 intersection, just crossing over 19. I think the side streets are gonna be fine, either sidewalkers on the edge of the road, hopefully they're not all just running down the center of the road.
Right.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Pick a lane.
So as long as
Right.
we don't have anything going on, the guys already know to be out there a little before 9 to catch the fast runners that might be there quick.
Yeah. They start at 8:30. I would say they should be there around, like some of those cross country kids fast.
Yep.
So like it starts at 8:30. I would say like 8:36 because
Yeah.
that's like a mile in. If they run a 6-minute start, I don't know. Yeah. So
Well, I guess
about
that-
8:30 is
I don't know
probably-
how many of you have signed up. Here's my concern, if you have a large group, and you're just running down city streets,
We're
with
going
no-
the same
with
way
no-
last year.
no one monitoring, the run.
Mhm. So there's gonna be.
If
a
you start at Mad Tap,
volunteer-
go down Madison and you,
Yeah, there'll be a volunteer right here where this comes here.
mhm.
And then there's going to be a volunteer right there. There's going to be people right in here, which doesn't
Well-
really, but then also somebody.
Your two main concerns are crossing the highway.
Yeah,
it
when
just-
you're crossing the highway.
If you have 50 people starting Madison Street, going down Madison, and there's nobody blocking traffic, or I guess those first few blocks just,
Yeah, I would say runner-wise, you're looking at maybe 20 people who will run and probably like 40 people who will walk in a group. And we did bright orange shirts this year for all of our runners.
Okay, so- in Madison, when you start, you're gonna cross Main
Yeah, at the four-way.
at the four-way, so is there gonna be anybody there?
I
Or
don't
you,
have
or
anybody
the
there
expectation
because
is
it's
this,
a
the
four-way.
traffic will stop? I'm just asking.
I don't anticipate a lot of traffic Thanksgiving morning at 8:30 a.m.
And there weren't any issues last year.
Okay.
There's
I-
been other entities that have done runs like this before, a lot of the churches and things like that, we've never had any problems.
Well, and the longer they go, they spread out.
Yeah,
You're
they'll get
basically
Well, that's-
just a runner at that
Yeah,
point.
individual
Yeah.
crossers. I mean, total completion is probably 30-ish minutes where you have walkers who walk the full 3
I think
miles.
Walkers can take like 45.
Okay.
Yeah, walkers can take 45.
Just remind them though that, they are pedestrian, they are in the roadway, so they have to
Yeah.
Of
abide by
course.
everything.
Local
Right,
traffic
yeah,
laws.
they're
Check their
gonna-
intersections, don't just think they've got to clear and blow through.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fun run. It's not really a competition. The cross country kids get a little competitive, but usually the coach runs with them as well.
Yeah. They'll be done in 15 minutes,
Probably, yeah,
15 to 20.
20. Yeah. Like, I don't know what Jackson Muncie won it last year. I don't know what his time was, but it was good.
Any further questions?
No,
Can we get a motion then to formalize this?
So moved.
second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the turkey trot for the 2025 Thanksgiving holiday. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thanks, Chelsea. Next, under department business, the one item that I wanted to update on is the industrial park. So we've approved bonding for the redevelopment district bond. This enables us to satisfy the request from the county commissioners to purchase their remaining property interest in the industrial park. So I've started that conversation. I think we await their direction on those necessary steps. We're hoping to get that satisfied before the Christmas holiday. RDC also did host 2 prospects that we've been in conversation with. So continuing that conversation, it was the first time that the RDC got to meet these individuals, their companies, and learn a little bit about their practices.
There was one that was, I watched the RDC meeting, it was short, but I couldn't make out the name of it. It was McCurry, and then I couldn't.
Achieva.
Achieva.
Yeah.
What do they do?
They're
Training?
Yes, so they're in the ag education space. Some of their clients include Corteva, Nutrien, the federal EPA. But they exist primarily in that education technology side of the ag industry.
Cool.
With that, we'll move to fire department. Chief Bittner.
Good morning. Any questions over the October monthly reports?
That was your one firefighter convalescing from Achilles
He is still out. It'll probably be
February.
February when he's looking to come back.
Mentally though, and everything, he's okay.
Yeah, he's out of his walking boot. He's
Wow.
walking looked like fairly normal.
Okay.
He stopped in the station the other day and was kind of giving an update on his situation. He said he now has more flexibility in that leg calf muscle than his one that he didn't tear. So he's gonna have to start doing more therapy on the good one now to keep it going. So he said everything's going well, but he does think that it'll probably be February when
You
he
have
gets
to
back.
put stress on that. Yeah.
And I said, don't rush it. I said, just make sure it's good before you come back. Which, his father-in-law is Bert Emmert.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's who's doing this therapy for him. So I don't think they'll let him come back too early. Department of Business, we had the 2 nights of trick or treating. Hundreds of kids visited. There was a lot of sugary treats handed out between the 2 nights between us and the police department. We did take ladder 10 to the park and assisted the electric department with decorating the tree at the entrance with the lights and the star. We had 2 building progress meetings with Hearn and Etika in October. The roof over the apparatus bays, the replacement of that, I thought they were going to be done this past weekend, but it's probably going to be this week when they finish that. And then at some point, they still have a little bit more work to do with getting some of the insulation on the inside trimmed up and the new trim pieces put up. The bathrooms, they've been tore out. Concrete has been cut out. Had a little bit of an issue with the concrete cutting. They tried to use an electric concrete saw. They run at about 10 seconds and the breaker would blow. So they went to battery operated concrete saw. Huge batteries are about that square and about that thick. They would run through 4 of those and get about 2 feet of concrete cut. So they had to resort to gas operated. It's interior of the building, no ventilation, a lot of carbon monoxide buildup throughout the station. Our guys had come in from working out and they got workers were sitting out back, not feeling well. So I think they've learned their lesson. They said the only other concrete cuts that they're gonna have to make is when they redo what's currently just a shower stall, making it a full bathroom, but they said they will use battery operated at that point. They will not use the gas stall anymore. I believe Jeff, did they get the concrete poured back on Friday?
The concrete got poured Friday, it's all set. They did leave about 2 foot on the end of each one for the shower drains. They're gonna mock the shower and then they'll reset that drain and pour the rest of the concrete. So all the concrete poured, and when I left this morning, they were ripping drywall out.
Yeah, they're cutting some doorways out, and the framers will be in tomorrow to frame up all the walls for the 3 individual bathrooms. HVAC work is still going on. I thought they said in the meeting last week that they should be done soon. I'm hoping it's real soon because the system that runs my office has been off for probably a week and a half, and it's pretty cold. It's going to get a little colder soon. The concrete demo, I believe, is going to start this next week out front, and they're hoping to get the footers and everything poured before the real cold sets in. We did attend the fairgrounds career fair at the fairgrounds, and the fire hose we ordered through Muncie Fire Department, it came in, and I did pick those up this last Thursday. Are currently fully staffed, obviously, except for the one that's on short-term disability. Trainings, Captain Moss will be attending an ESO conference soon to learn how to fully utilize the ESO system to maximize everything we can for medical reports, for the billing, make sure we're getting everything out of it that we can. Budget-wise, we should be in the black. Does not look like as of this time, unless there's something major happens, we will not have to make any additional appropriations. Granting, again, assistance firefighters grant. I haven't heard anything, updates on that.
In fact, I looked on Friday, it feels like last year we'd already had notification of this, and so I jumped on it, and they still don't have that
And
notice of
It
funding
almost seems
opportunity.
like the grant cycle for this in the years that we have done it takes a year and a quarter, a year to a year and a half to get through 1 year of rounds. So then the 2025 gets pushed back a little bit further. They're saying, oh, it's gonna be late summer, early fall, and then it gets pushed back to like winter or 26. So hopefully it will be opening soon, because it's a good one to apply for. There's not a lot of money available. Capital projects, just continued public safety building repairs. They did remove the ACM panels off of the front. I can't remember if I mentioned this last month, but there was no vapor or moisture barrier behind the original panels. It's all that wood behind there is just completely rotten. Right now they have like a tie back up. They are going to take that down. They're going to seal the edges with it's like a glue paste, and then they're going to put up a self-sealing rubber moisture barrier to make sure it is properly sealed. And then the new ACM panels will be going up hopefully soon. They have to order those when we pick the color out. So, public events, Halloween, career fair. And that's just about it for me, unless you have any questions.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Chief.
Very good.
Thank you.
Chief Stout? Apologize, I said last time we would switch you to, so you got to give all the building updates.
The only other thing that I have to add to the building updates is, on our side, our main hallway. So when they started opening up the floor for the drains, they realized that that main drain runs down our main hallway. Well, there was a T, and so it comes down and it went up and then it went over into the bathroom. So they had to cut out about a 3-foot section out of the middle of our hallway. So that's the old tile in the middle. You know what tile I'm talking about?
Yeah,
So
it needs replaced anyway.
there's not a replacement for that tile.
Right.
We don't have any of those tiles left, so we're not sure. They don't know exactly what they're gonna do yet. But that old flooring, I mean, that's that whole hallway into
The lobby.
the kitchen, the lobby, it just feeds all through there. So I don't know if that's something that
Yep.
all that tile gets pulled up and replaced. I don't know if it's something they just put some sort of runner, an extension off the hallway they're gonna bring out as a divide. But they had to cut into the hallway, so that tile is now removed.
Yeah.
So that's maybe something.
I think it feels inappropriate to patch it.
Yeah.
We're investing in the rest of the facility to become a professional facility for the crew to then
I don't know what.
fall
So
short of
I
that.
think
Seems
that VCT too is, I mean, I think we tried to deep clean a few years ago,
Yeah.
couldn't wax it, there's nothing left.
Nothing left.
And now it becomes almost like a slip hazard. It's so slick, especially if it gets wet at all, because there's no wax to repel any water. It needs replaced. The terrazzo in the front it runs out to the lobby. The terrazzo could probably stay because you don't wax that. But the rest of that floor, we should probably let's look at maybe getting a quote for, even if we just ask the floor store and not go through the GC or go through the GC, I don't care. But to replace all that would be worth it. And I wouldn't go back to VCT.
Because it runs over onto his side as well.
Well, nobody's using VCT.
Yeah,
now.
I believe ours got replaced at one point, and it's a darker color than what you guys have. Yours is kind of like a whitish gray now. I'm not sure exactly what it was before.
With spots of
but
yellow.
I think ours is a darker gray. We may be able to talk to Tyler,
Okay.
because Tyler Davis is the one that's doing the
Bathroom floors.
bathroom flooring. He might have something that he could put down your hallway as well as one
Just not VCT.
big project.
Don't know if that's something to be added on.
yeah, it'd be a change order.
Give somebody else in
We'll have
there
to figure out.
and get a new bid or whatever.
Something.
It's easy to say we're going to do it. The money side of it will get complicated, but
That's all I was gonna say to both of them and you as well, is anytime we're gonna have a change order over there, we need to make sure that we have the funding for that before
Right.
because we have a specific amount of money for that, and then there's a little bit additional that we're taking out of another,
fun.
but out of another fund, but if we have any more additional, any change orders, then I need to be looking into that.
But you
See
can
where-
do it, I mean, it's an option to do it outside of going through the GC. Any change order through the GC is gonna be more expensive than going to get a quote on your own. Now, they have probably access to more resources, so they might have more competitive bids, but if we did this outside of the project, I gotta believe we can find the money somewhere. Council should have to. It's almost a safety concern at this point. Wouldn't think flooring would be that way, but
I don't know if you guys need to come look at it, see what you want to do,
No.
or
I've seen that from
you tell
3
me
inches
what,
away.
you tell me what to do, or
Don't patch it. We're not gonna patch it.
not patch, don't patch it. Okay. So let them know just to leave it until we tell them what to do with it.
Yeah, we'll have those
Right.
conversations with Tyler and potentially
Okay.
someone else.
Somebody, yeah.
Stats, you got the stats there? Any questions on the stats? Numbers are remaining the same. 193 traffic stops last month, 530 calls. So we did exceed that 5,000 call mark, so by the end of the year, we'll be well above that.
Who's Shane Kaufman? That's what did it autocorrect.
Oh, yeah, there's gonna be a comment in there. So as far as kind of an overview, the 2 new officers, they're in their 3rd phase of the FTO program. They've got 1 more week in the 3rd phase. They'll go to their 4th and final phase. They do go to the academy. I believe it's January the 16th or 17th for their physical fitness test. They pass that, they go to the academy in January. So they'll be completely through their FTO phase and the academy in January, so we should have them back ready to maybe have another week or two training before they go on the road, maybe April-ish.
They're doing okay?
Yeah, they're both doing good.
That's
Good.
We had a lot of community events last month, I guess. We assisted the high school and middle school with security checks one morning. They ran metal detectors. They do this every once in a while. They post up at certain doors. They do random draw. I think they do like every 7th kid. They come in, they wand them. We just stand there and assist unless something's found. Then we would take possession of it until we're done. Then we take it out of the office. But to my knowledge, nothing harmful was located. I think there was one little bitty pocket knife that a kid forgot was in his backpack, but that was nothing. They handled that issue. I attended ABC Mean Daycare and read to preschoolers, handed out coloring books and crayons. Was out there for about an hour one morning. Captain Leisure went to the elementary school and took his canine Miko to the 2nd grade classes. Did demos, talked to the kids about the dog and police work and things like that. We had touch a truck at the Tractor Supply, and then as Joe said, the career fair. So there's a lot going on recently. The officers being involved. Like I said, full staff. No new hires, no separations. Under the performance, we did have just give a shout out to these 3 guys. So it was Assistant Chief Lacey, Officer FTO Shank, and Officer Trice Huffman. Cameron was actually in his driving phase now, so Assistant Chief Lacey rides with him. He went to stop a car out west of town here. The car was 74 and a 40. Flipped on her, came back, and she took off. Came all the way into town to West Street, all the way down to South Street, through the cemetery, back out 28 to 31, all the way up to 26 and over into Hemlock. Assistant Chief Lacey did a great job on the radio calling out the pursuit, while Cameron, in his first pursuit ever, just concentrated on driving. Safe stop, state police assisted, and they actually did the pit maneuver, spun her out in the middle of the road, got her out of the car and in custody. No damage to any of our vehicles, no officers injured, so
excellent.
they did a really good job on that pursuit. Kind of the bad thing, though, we did have 2 crashed vehicles within the last month, one of them being totaled. Neither one our fault. The snow that came in, the very first snow, we were responding to an injury accident, and Officer Huffman was heading west out of town, and for some reason a guy pulled out around the truck that was stopped, thinking, I don't know what he was thinking, and hit Officer Huffman head on, totaled the car. He just had just a little sore wrist, no injuries other than that. Then later that afternoon, Officer Ludvigson was responding to a call at First Farmers Bank, and as he pulls in, a guy's backing out and backs right into the front bumper. Luckily, that one was very minor damage. All it did was crack the grill and crack the bumper, or not even crack the bumper, just scuff the bumper. We're not even gonna get that one fixed. There's no point in it. It's one of the older Explorers, so we don't have to worry about that one. Our 6 cars are in. 2 of the cars are down at our outfitter, getting the equipment put in. Those are the 2 unmarked cars. And then the 4 other cars are at Hoosier Sign Guy getting striped. I talked to the mayor about this when we got the cars. They ordered the wrong color. So they are not the silver cars this time. They actually ordered, it's called Battleship Gray. They look pretty good. We had to make a couple modifications to the decals to make it match with that compared to what we have now. So I talked to Blake Langley the other day. He said they actually look really, really nice. He should have those done, and then they'll be shipped out to be outfitted. So cool. They're in. They're just going to look a little different. And if we switch all of them moving forward in the future, I think the guys will be fine with it. I mean, so we'll see. Community engagements, already went all over all those. You have, I believe, the budget is attached in there. There are still, obviously, end of the year outstanding bills, computers. We just look at all those, we just have to pay for those. But other than that, we should be good too. We shouldn't be able to rock it as many as needed, if anything. So that's pretty much everything I have.
No questions.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone on board?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
I don't want it.
Oh, me?
So